Chainsaw Man, one of the most hyped anime releases of the past year. And honestly, I'm not really sure what all the fuss is about. Why are you guys so excited over seeing a man infused with a chainsaw, when you could get excited over seeing a buzzsaw infused with a fucking shark? So here's today's deck list. Now just a reminder before I go through the deck list, if you're enjoying today's video and want to see more content just like this in the future, especially if you're a returning viewer, as apparently 50% of the people watching this are not even subscribed to the channel, yet nearly all of you are returning viewers who have seen my stuff before. So if you find yourself keep coming back to the channel and want to see more content from me in the future, remember to hit that like button down below and consider subscribing to the channel. Alright, let's get into the deck list. So this is going to be a very typical looking Shark Kraken deck list, only it's had a major upgrade since you've probably last seen it, thanks to the brand new packs, giving us 4 brand new cards to the deck list. The most important one being, of course, the Abyss Shark. This card is insane. This card is not only an extender, but it's also a searcher for the deck list. If this card uses Exceeds material for a number monster, it can be treated as level 3 or 4 monster, because keep in mind it's actually a level 5. But that's not a problem because one of your main Exceed summons is just the Stealth Kraken, which is number 4, so you can just go into that really easily. If all monsters you control are water monsters, you can special summon this card from your hand, and if you do, add one level 3, 4, or 5 fish monster from your deck to your hand. So essentially, this card, you summon it out, go into your Stealth Kraken, and you get a search with it as well. You can even use this card to search out your brand new Crystal Shark, to then go into the Stealth Kraken that way, having 2 materials by that method. You can also search for things like your Xyz or Remora to then detach materials, summon more fish monsters back from the graveyard, search out your Cyan Angler for further extenders, or if you've already got what you already want in your hand, you can then just search for things like a Buzzsaw Shark for follow-up plays on the following turn. The second new addition to the deck list is going to be your Crystal Shark, which is essentially just giving you a brand new starter for the deck list, because now your Lifeless Leaffish, you can play it 3 copies in here, as it works kind of like a pseudo version of Buzzsaw Shark, in that this normal summon alone will then send this card straight to the graveyard, and then you can make a Stealth Kraken instantly. So this deck now has a new line of play with your Lifeless Leaffish. So this card, if it's used as Exceed summon from a number monster, it can be treated as a level 3 or 4, so again, can be used to go into your Stealth Kraken. If this card is in your hand or graveyard, you can target one water monster on the field, special summon this card. It banishes card when it leaves the field. Now keep in mind, this card won't actually banish itself because you're going to be using it as Xyz material, and when you detach from an Xyz monster, it doesn't banish the card. And if you do, half that monster's attack. Also, you cannot special summon monsters the rest of this turn, except Xyz monsters. So essentially, you can just use this card to go into, like I said, summon out your Leaffish, send this card to the graveyard, target your Leaffish, half its attack, special summon this thing back, and there you go, now you've got Stealth Kraken. Or you can use this card to search for it when you're extending into further plays, then make a Stealth Kraken that way. Now keep in mind, the 2 cards I just showed you were both actually level 5, so using both these cards or just using your Buzzsaw Shark, which can also be treated as a level 5, you can go into the brand new Xyz monster, Gnash Knight. This card cannot be destroyed in battle while there's another monster on the field. During the main phase, quick effect, you can attach 2 materials from this card and attach one number Xyz monster from your extra deck to this card as material, that is a number between 101 and 107 in its name. Then you can attach one other face-up monster on the field to this card as material. So you'll summon this thing out, use this effect, attach a copy of your number 101 Cyan Honor to it, and then suck up one of your opponent's monsters. From there, you can further extend into your Xyz Gnash Knight. This card, basically, don't worry about any of its effects, all you need to know is you detach one material from it, to then further extend into your number C101 Silent Honor. Once per turn, you can target one special summon monster your opponent controls, attach it to this card as material. So again, just like this card, you're just sucking up your opponent's stuff. So this line of play allows you to suck up 2 of your opponent's cards. And the cool thing is, because your Gnash Knight actually sucked up a copy of your Silent Honor, this card actually gets its second effect as well. When this card is destroyed and sent to the graveyard while it has material, you can special summon this card from your graveyard, then gain life points equal to the original attack of this card. Number 101 Silent Honor Arc must be in the graveyard to activate and resolve this effect. If this card is special summoned this way, it cannot attack for the rest of this turn. So essentially this card, by the way, will actually be imploding itself anyway, because this card, when it summons it out, does force it to destroy itself during the end of your opponent's turn, but that doesn't matter, because it'll be destroying itself, and you'll have this card underneath, so it'll just resummon itself back to the field anyway. Alright guys, that's going to do it for all the new cards for this deck list. The rest of the deck list is your typical Shark Kraken stuff, so I won't bother going through it in this video, as you guys probably already know what all the cards do in here, and if you don't, you'll probably work it out by just watching the gameplay anyway. And speaking of the gameplay, let's get into it. Alright, so this is normally the part of the video I'll be showing you guys all the cool combos this deck list has, but for Sharks, there isn't really any combos as such, as basically all Sharks plan to do is just summon out your Kraken or your Toad, and then just look at your hand, see if you have any more extenders, and make some more rank 4s with it. It's not really a combo based deck, so instead of showing you guys some combos, I'm just going to be showing you guys some replays that I got from me just playing this on the ranked ladder. Alright, so this is actually going to be the first replay I'm going to be showing you guys is my favourite of all of them, as I get to show off all the new cards in one. Alright. So we're going to summon out my Buzzsaw Shark. Buzzsaw Shark targeting itself to summon out my right-hand Shark to make my Behemoth Shark immune from battle. Detaching one to summon out the Toad. Now that I have a water monster on field, I can summon my Abyss Shark from hand. This searches for my Crystal Shark. Crystal Shark targeting half of the attack to special summon itself. So now I'm going to my Stealth Kraken. Now keep in mind, you want to save your Stealth Kraken summon for when you're going to be using your Crystal Sharks and your Abyss Sharks, because they can only summon number monsters. Alright. Well, number monsters when they're changing their level, I think. I think they can summon them normally, though. Yeah. So you summon level 5s with them normally. Alright. Use his Infinite Permanence on my Kraken, and then he uses his Droplet on my Toad, so I guess I'm just going to steal the Droplet. Actually the roughest start here. Thankfully we do have an Effect Veiler, so we still have some kind of disruption, and stealing a Droplet isn't that bad. Toad putting himself back in the deck, activating Foolish Burial. Alright. I'm going to be Effect Veiler in that. I know I could have saved it for if we had like a Fusion Summon and used it on the Fusion monster or something, but I feel like he has so little cards in hand at this point, the chance of him branded Fusion in hand is already so low, so I'm just not going to let him search for it. At least that's my thought process. He still had a Poly though, which is, still doable. Summons out the first Dark Lord. Not what I expected. Then again, he did actually banish the Dark Lord at the start of the turn, I think. Yeah, he did, so. Both these Dark Lord Despia. Nukes my entire field. Thankfully, my Kraken can spawn back some dudes. Stick some dudes underneath it. He negates one, which is fine. I can summon out my Kraken because one got destroyed. Unfortunately, it's not in the main phase, I can't pop anything, so he just beats over my monster. And passes back to me. And I've still got plenty of follow-up. So Princess, banishing itself to then summon out a Shark from the deck. Shark summoning out a Remora. Then go into my Behemoth Shark. Summon my Abyss. Add my Xyz Remora to hand. Because this is in the graveyard, because I detached it as material, it didn't get itself banished, despite it say it banishes when it leaves the field, because if you use this as Xyz material, it won't banish when it leaves the field, essentially. And now I've got 2 level 5s on the field, so now I'm going to the brand new line of play this deck list has. So, open up my Nash Knight. Nash Knight going to attach a material, to attach a number monster to it, to then suck up one of my opponent's monsters. I can then go straight into the Chaos Nash Knight, which is then detach a material to go into the Honor Dark, which then suck up another one of my opponent's monsters. Remora, summoning out 2 dudes. This doesn't really matter at this point, because I'm actually out of rank 4s in my extra deck. I didn't even realize this at the time, but I'm out of rank 4s. But we already have lethal on field anyway, so. Easy clap. Alright, on to the second replay. Now, I don't actually remember what I did in this replay, as I recorded all these yesterday, and I only remember the first one and the last one, so we'll see what I did in this one. So, summon my Shark, summoning out a dude from deck list. Going for an Xyz Remora this time, because unfortunately, we opened out my right-hand Shark, so the thing I pulled out of the deck was just one of the cards that I'm not wanting to top deck, basically. Alright, going for Toad. Normally, by the way, it's best to summon the Toad first before doing anything else, because this way your opponent can't Nibiru you. Same play as before, Abyss Shark going to Crystal Shark, summoning it to the field, so we go into our number monster of our Kraken. And passing the turn. So not a bad board, got 1 negate, 1 pop, and an imperm. He uses his hero, tries to use its effect, I'm going to imperm that. He has a cross out for that. I'm then going to negate the cross out, He activates a Forbidden Droplet, getting rid of that card to then try to negate my Kraken. I don't chain the Kraken, I wait, and then he activates Mass Change here, which is like, okay, interesting choice. So then I'm gonna activate my Chain 7, I think, to then pop his Vion before the Mass Change goes off. And he concedes. Right, bit of a quick replay that one, I forgot I recorded that. Actually a banger of a replay though. Alright, on to the third replay. Again, I don't actually remember what replay this one is, but apparently we're going second this time, so let's get into it. Alright, we did draw a bunch of hand traps. This is one of the advantages of this deck list, is you have got a shit ton of hand traps in it. Oh, it's this Tri-Brigade one. This is a pretty banger of a gameplay too. I think this went for like 6 turns or something. I think it started off with a bit of a hand trap war, so I hand trap him, then he hand traps me back, so. Bit of a slow start to this game. Tried to summon monsters, I'm just going to imperm that. He decides to end the turn from there, probably smart so I don't draw a billion cards. Summon out my princess, banish it to then summon out my shark. Shark can then be sending the other thing if it doesn't get negated. Unfortunately, yeah, we got negated. Set the Gozen match, set the crossout, and pass. Activates this. I kind of thought this card for some reason was special summoning itself because I have 0 brain, so I activate Gozen match in response. Shouldn't have done this, should have waited. That's fine. Goes into battle phase to get his monster off the field and get a search, I'm guessing? Oh no, so that's right. He wanted to empty his field so he can lightning storm me. The little shit. Alright, thankfully he has no battle phase though, so I'm not exactly scared of dying, and I got max C, so I'm still going to draw a billion cards. Goes into the Apollousa. Searches for the trap card and searches for the hand trap. Which thankfully doesn't actually do anything, so he puts it back in the deck, I think. Yeah. Alright. So now we have to get through this Apollousa. So imagine my Buzzsaw Shark, he's going to negate that. Basically, I'm trying to get this Apollousa down low enough so I can beat over it with just an attack. Alright. So my Leaf Fish sending a card to the graveyard. He didn't negate that. I guess he really just does not want this thing to go any lower than that. Special summon it. XC summon to my Nash Knight. And this is when he uses his trap card. Goes into the Link 4. Goes to banish one of my monsters. I'm of course going to use my Nash Knight in response. Which then try to eat up his monster. Unfortunately, he then negates it, but that's fine because now we've got all the Apollousa procs, so we can actually beat over his stuff now. He was forced to banish my card, by the way, because I could have climbed with it, so he did the right thing there. And now beat over it, so I can use my plays. I special summon out my Abyss Shark, searching for my Xyz Remora. This was a fat misplay, because I didn't actually realize I already had one in hand. So I could have made an extra rank 4 during this turn, but I was super dumb and searched for a card I literally already had. But we'll just ignore that for now. Alright, go into my Stealth Kraken. Summon my Remora, sending back 2 dudes. As you can see, if I had the Silent Angler in hand, I could then special summon that to the field, but I've got an extra Remora for some reason, because I'm a dum-dum. So go to my Behemoth, bring out my Toad, pop his monster, and then I negate his search here. This was definitely dumb. I don't know why I did this. I should have just used this card to negate any of his, so he just tried to link summon. I feel like that was much better. Either way. Wouldn't have been a problem though if I had another level 4 on the field, because I would have just had 2 pops on the field, which would be great. Popping his first monster, and thankfully he didn't have another one in hand, so... Or he didn't have a special summon in hand. He never Wing Beast could discard to special summon out the what's his face? Wait, where is he? Did he banish it? Yeah, this dude. Thankfully he didn't have another card to special summon out that card, or I probably would have lost. And from there I think I just do a bit of BMing. So Behemoth, summon out my Toad again. Yeah, this game is already over. Alright. Alright, on to the final replay. So this replay is going to be a fairly boring one. I just thought it was important to show off the Gozen match interaction with Kraken and why we're actually running Gozen match. So, first of all, we're going to summon out my Leaf Fish, I believe. Sending a card to the graveyard. Unfortunately, we already have this card in hand, so we didn't actually need to send anything. He imperms us anyway, so whatever. We just special summon it anyway, we don't care. And now we can just make ourselves a Stealth Kraken. Setting the Gozen match, setting the cross out, and this board, despite looking really weak, is actually incredibly strong. Because if he can't deal with either of these cards, he is absolutely screwed. As all these monsters are now turned into water monsters thanks to the Kraken. He has a negate, we have a cross out. And as soon as he goes to special summon a monster, I activate my Gozen match. This essentially means that this card is now a water monster. So the only things he can summon now are water monsters. He can't summon anything else because Gozen match is on the field. This is a not Shiranui, this is a, I forgot the name of the deck list. Sword Soul deck list, so he does actually have water monsters in there, but thankfully he didn't open that normal summon, so good to go. We could have popped it anyway with Stealth Kraken, so we're not particularly worried. We can't even link this thing off, he's actually in a really rough spot. Antival's Blackout early to get rid of the combo, which is fine, I guess. He's gonna pop his card in response, he Veilers that, which is like, alright, cool. Buzzsaw Shark, summoning the 2 dudes to the field, and from here just concedes. Because if you guys don't actually know, the little Kraken dudes are super good against particularly Sword Soul because they have so many water monsters, including their tokens, so you keep popping their tokens as well. Alright guys, this is gonna do it for the, I was gonna say combos. This is gonna do it for the gameplay portion of the video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Maybe if you did, leave a like, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. And yeah, hope to see you guys in the next one. Laters.
Hey, big brother, can I watch SpongeBob?
Shut up, Mokuba. I'm busy flagging YouTube videos to compensate for the fact that I have an extremely small penis.
Oh.